It was night, and Jesus was in a quiet garden, praying. Suddenly, torchlight flickered through the trees. A crowd approached, soldiers, temple guards, and Judas leading them. He walked up to Jesus and kissed him. Jesus said, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" The soldiers stepped forward to grab him, but Peter drew his sword. He cut off the ear of the high priest's servant. But Jesus said, "Put your sword away. Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me?" Jesus was dragged before the Jewish leaders. In the dead of night, they threw accusations, false witnesses, trying to trap him. "Are you the Messiah?" they demanded. Jesus looked at them and said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of God." They tore their robes and shouted, "Blasphemy!" Meanwhile, guards mocked him, spat in his face and beat him, saying, "Prophesy! Who hit you?" Jesus said nothing. At sunrise, they took Jesus to Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate asked, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus replied, "My kingdom is not of this world." Pilate found no guilt in him, but the crowd, they shouted louder, "Crucify him!" Pilate sent him to Herod. Herod mocked him, dressed him in a robe, then sent him back. Pilate tried again. "I will punish him and release him." But the people screamed, "No, give us Barabbas." Barabbas, a murderer, was set free, and Jesus handed over to be crucified. The soldiers took Jesus, and they beat him. They whipped him over and over with sharp, cutting lashes. Then they made a crown of thorns and shoved it down on his head. Blood ran down his face. They put a robe on him, knelt in fake worship, and mocked, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Then they took the robe off and led him away. Jesus was in pain, but he walked, carrying his own wooden cross. Jesus stumbled through the streets of Jerusalem. The crowd, some wept, others mocked. But Jesus turned and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, don't weep for me, weep for yourselves and your children." He knew what was coming, not just for him, but for the whole world. And still, he walked forward, step by step, toward Calvary. On a hill called Golgotha, the place of the skull, they nailed Jesus to the cross. One nail, then another, through his hands and his feet. He was lifted up between two criminals, and Jesus said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." The soldiers gambled for his clothes. People shouted, "If you're really the Son of God, come down." But one of the criminals looked at Jesus and said, "Remember me." And Jesus replied, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." Even while dying, he offered mercy. At noon, the sky went dark for 3 hours. Then Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And finally, he whispered, "It is finished." He bowed his head and gave up his spirit. At that moment, the ground shook. The temple curtain was torn from top to bottom. A Roman centurion watching said, "Surely this was the Son of God." Jesus died, so we could be forgiven. But this wasn't the end. No, something greater was coming.